We're back on the podcast, everybody. It has been a minute. Yeah, it's been a while, but we got a special one for y'all today. We've been teasing you about guests and whatnot, and about a special guest specifically this week. And the man is here. Timeless Vic doesn't need much of a presentation.
Sheesh.
Hey, what's up, Vic? Say what's up.
What's going on, guys? How's it going?
Dog, let me just start by saying it's nice to meet you for sure. I'm a huge follower, fan, virtual handshake. Yeah,
virtual handshake.
COVID free. Please don't sneeze on me. That's it. That's all I ask. Nah, but man, I've been following you since I started cutting. Like, you're the reason I started cutting. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Before you, I've dabbled, but
the reason
I never took it serious. Huh?
The reason? Like, do you mean like the reason you took it serious, or what do you mean the reason? Like,
well, the reason, like, I thought it was so tight that I was gonna do it. So like before you, I didn't even do it. Then I seen you do it, and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do that and one day be that good. So it was a goal.
I'm still trying to figure out what made me do it.
Hey.
How long you been doing it?
Shit. I've been cutting I know what made me do it, but I started cutting my own hair when I was about 12 years old. And then I wasn't like, giving myself clean haircuts or anything, but of course. Yeah, I wasn't giving myself like clean haircuts by any means, but I basically would want to have a haircut more than once a month. You know what I mean? So the people, my mom would take me to these people down the street to cut my hair, and they would do like an okay job, but then I would go home and like fix it up. And then I started like having more confidence every time I fixed it up. And I was like, damn, let me just try this myself. And then that's when I started cutting my own hair. And then people around me were like, who's cutting your hair? So I started cutting their hair. And that's pretty much how it started.
That's usually
it. And I was like a teenager by then, by the time I started cutting my other buddies and stuff. But I still never like was like, oh, I'm going to be a barber. I mean, because it wasn't cool to be a barber. It wasn't even like a thought in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was usually just some like old person at a shop that gave you
it wasn't cool. If anything, I feel like this is one thing I'm responsible for, is making it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one, but I mean, like, because I felt like I had to, because like, to me, barbering was just whack at first. No offense to anybody might hear that and might go, what the fuck is he? People might go, what the fuck is he saying right now, right? But to me, just like, I didn't respect it like that. I just looked at it like, this is not what I want to do when I get older. You know what I mean? In the beginning. So I always wanted to do other stuff. And then
like
finally, what's that?
You wanted to be a breakdancer?
Yeah, basically, I still do.
You still do? You still got it? I'll be checking out all your breakdancing moves. Dog. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I still do it. I'm about to be competing probably next month. I'm going to be going to freestyle session in LA, which is like the biggest popping competition in the world, pretty much. Well, and breaking competition. People go, oh, you mean like Red Bull? I'm like, nah, this is bigger and better than Red Bull. Like, this is the real shit.
That's how I go, bro. I give you props for like keeping yourself to it and keep doing it. I used to dance when I was younger. I was definitely not at your level in any way, shape, or form, but I used to break, and I was pretty good at it. In my school, I was like top 3, at the dance. Like, I could get down, I could do head spins, everything. I was a lot smaller.
Really? That's good. Yeah. I mean, truth be told, I started out breaking, but because like all my friends were like 5 foot tall and I was like 6 foot tall, I just wasn't picking it up. You know what I mean? Like, the most I ever got to was like one flare, windmills, a quick little drill head spin. I had like clean footwork and top rocks and all that.
What's one flare to you? Is that where both legs come up?
Yeah, all the way around, and then I could go into windmills with it. But I mean, my friends were like, from 1 month to the next, they're barely hitting a flare. The next minute they're hitting 5 flares in a row and then going into windmills. and then popping up into head spins, 1990 swipes, all that. And I was just sitting there like, I can't compete with that because I'm too big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's usually little ass dudes. I remember.
Yes,
like, I was a little ass dude.
Yeah, all the best breakers are little fucking little guys. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm gonna start doing now too, just because of you. Just because of you again.
Start popping.
Hey, fuck around, win some competitions and shit. Be like, damn, Vic, this too.
Hey, maybe you don't know you have it. You never know until you try.
You never know.
I could do that. Why not?
Hey, that's what's up. I'll share you were the first person that I saw on YouTube as a barber. Like you were the first person that I saw on YouTube as a barber. And I have very similar background than you. And I'm not a professional barber in any way, shape, or form. I love cutting hair. I've always thought about it as a side thing. I have my own career and everything. If you've heard on the podcast before, we talked a little bit about this in the past, but truth be told, like when I was a kid, same thing. My parents would take me and it was just like some old lady or old dude, like it wasn't a thing, it was boring. I was like, oh, like I like you said, I wouldn't want to catch myself thinking that that was what it was going to be for me for the rest of my life. But then I used to cut my own hair and all the homies like, hey, like who cut your hair? Like who cut you out? My brother or me? It was either my brother or me because my brother was in the same pace. Like he learned how to cut his own hair. Either I'd cut his hair, he cut his hair, we cut our own hair. We just started, doing haircuts for everybody on the block, actual fades versus, just like a flat top or something back in the day. And when I started playing around on YouTube and watching videos and stuff, I still remember like going through and seeing one of your videos. I'm like, what is this? And I heard the beat in the background, just super chill vibes with the haircuts. I was like, yo, this is cool. Like this is what barbering is now. And mind you, I took a break from the US. I actually lived in Mexico for a long time. So when I came back, when I came back, it was like everything was new to me, right? Like the culture of being here was new to me again. So I still remember getting a phone, internet, all just seeing YouTube. I was like, no, this is super dope. This is not what barbering was when I was here, when I was younger. This is super badass. I got to get into this. And obviously things didn't work out for me in that direction, but I still kept it going on my side. I still really enjoy everything about it. So I appreciate it.
It was the lineups for me. It was the lineups that did it for me. Like when I seen you line somebody up with a straight razor.
A lot of people were not even out here where I'm at. Like when I went to barber college, I had gone to Rewind. So when I actually started believing that barbering was cool, and then I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. The reason why was because to Rewind, I went to this barbershop called Hair Masters. I went to this barbershop called Hair Masters
one day,
and they were sick in there. Like they were cutting clean. And this is like a whole nother subculture that I didn't know about. So I would have thought barbering was cool had I known about the subculture of barbering. We're in San Jose, there was really only one or two shops that were like considered black barber shops, or what you would consider that, right? So it's like I didn't know about that shop. All we knew about was Asian shops. So and not to say Asian, but like Vietnamese, like basically women shops, not like even like an actual, I know there's Asian gentleman shops, all over the place. And that's a totally different thing within itself too. I mean, it's all connected, right? Every barbershop is connected in one way or another. We're all giving haircuts, whatever. But I'm strictly looking at it from a point of it being like to me, being fresh as a young teenager, coming up 18, 19, 20, looking at it like, dang, is this something that I want to do, right? And like once I went to that barbershop Hair Masters and I seen how they were getting down, I was like, wow, this is like something I really see myself doing, right? And so I seen that they were using the razor after they were touching people's hairlines with the clippers, with the T outliners.
Yeah. So
when I went back to barber college, I was busting out my razor on the hairline, and people were like, "What the fuck? You're crazy." You know what I'm saying? Especially on like black hair. A lot of black barbers back then in that area weren't doing that. Their liners were just hitting hella clean, and they didn't use the razor. They just tapped it with the liner. And then so when I brought the razor in my barber college that I was going to, a couple of cats were like, "What are you doing, bro? Like, you don't even need to do that." But I was like, "Nah, I seen some fools doing this at the barbershop where I'm at." So and like they were crisping this whole area out. People call it the C cups now and all this other lingo or whatever.
The terminology,
terminology. And I'm just like, okay, you guys want to make some shit up that you don't even make up, but okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You already had it named. Why did they change it? You called it the hooks. I call it the hooks
the
to
hooks.
this day. Go look at any of my videos. I never say C cup because it's the hooks.
People are constantly like, it's like, it's gotten to the point where I feel like I'm almost down to really develop a concrete system, almost like a kung fu or a kempo system, like a karate system, where it's like I can honestly say this is fucking mine, because I've had my little techniques and stuff.
Vic
What's that?
Vic Jitsu.
Yeah, exactly.
Vic
Jitsu.
Jitsu.
But you know what I'm saying? Like something that I could be like, you cannot say that you didn't get this from me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do my shit and they don't give me any fucking credit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, now I'm going to do like, this is my technique. Motherfucker, that ain't your technique. You learn that shit for me. Keep it 100. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. Dog.
Big facts. Bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm just like, it's cool though. I mean, I wanted to get out there, but I don't like the way people don't. What's that?
I said, that's what you did it for. You did it for so that we all follow, so we can all see and we can all implement it to our game. And
and it's like, I see this, like I do many things. I don't just cut hair. I do, I used to do martial arts as a kid. You guys know I do the popping. Yep. So I'm like really like conscious of like where I learned stuff from. I always give credit to who I learned it from.
Big
you know
respect.
what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like,
me too.
And even like in the karate scene, for instance, you had different karate guys that would come up and they would go and learn from somebody, right? Some like ancient master, and then come here to America and start their system and then act like they just created it. Yeah. And it's the same thing with popping. It's the same thing with the popping that you guys see me doing. It's the same thing. Like everybody just tries to act like they created something and they don't give the credit to the pioneers. And I'm not saying I created it, but if you ask me who I learned from, I'm going to tell you, like, for sure. I'll always bring up that barbershop hair masters. I'll always bring up Shay, Red, Yancy.
What was the name of that Filipino vato that from up there where you're from?
That Filipino vato?
Yeah, what's
you talking about Randy? Cake and his Randy?
Yeah.
See, I was gonna bring him up. I'll always bring up Cake, and I'll always bring because I learned from all these people. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't just say, "Oh, this is my shit." Even when you guys were like, "Oh, you got me," or when you said you got me into this or whatever, it's like I'm like, okay, but really, who got you into it was the people who got me into it. It's the butterfly effect.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It's that snowball. Just keeps on rolling.
Yeah, but I definitely created like my own way of doing things, but I always give props to the people before me. And I feel like a lot of just every genre of different things that people are doing. I mean, everything's getting crazy, bro. You see everybody skateboarding, fucking gymnastics, everything that you could possibly do. Everything's just being taken to the next level, the next level.
People do forget though. People do be forgetting.
Yes. And it's like you can't forget because you can't forget. If you forget where it really like stemmed from, then it's like you lose that I feel like you lose that foundation because it's like, why are you doing that? Because I've seen this other barber do it. But why did he do it?
People don't take the time
why do I wave like that? Or why do I tick like this? Or when I got the spray can, why do I do this letter like this? Or like anything you do, why do you do it like that? You got to have an explanation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, you're just a copycat.
No,
there's no explanation.
I always tell people like it's never a good idea to continue looking in the past. Keep looking in the present, but that doesn't qualify for the aspect of like knowing the history and where the culture started, right?
Yeah,
it's a whole different story. Like have some respect for that. And the thing, it's like it's the beauty of itself. It's like you were talking about skateboarding. I got a couple skateboards behind me. I literally was having this conversation with someone the other day, and I was like, hey, like I'm gonna put up my boards in my little room. I got a bunch of like old school Hosoi boards from Christian Hosoi, and they're like, who's Christian Hosoi? And I'm like, bro, how you not know who Christian? You skate every day. Like, how do you not know who this is? I don't even skate every day anymore. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not put respect on this man who started the scene back in the day? You know what I mean? Like, he was one of the pioneers in making what skateboarding is
Rodney
today.
Mullen.
Exactly.
Rodney
he was a part of that group.
The other day, I was like, you know who Rodney Mullen is? They're like, no. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy.